What's up, good people? I'm building the wall separation just to organize my little one car garage slash workshop. Organize this bad boy and show you what I got going on here. This is the water cabinet. This is the existing cabinet with all the switches above it. This is the existing wall. This is the bed and all that. So what I'm planning on doing is adding a wall here. That way I can create a chase up there and hang a curtain that'll go to down here, and that way I can stow it out of the way when I'm not using it. What that's going to hopefully do is allow me to close off the little bedroom space. That way when it's cold, it'll just be easier to warm up in there. Other factors like lights, like the little fridge when it works, when it turns on. You're just trying to fall asleep, it's a little annoying. That's what I'm gonna plan on building. I don't have any cardboard. I have a scrap piece of this insulation board, so we're gonna make a template out of that. Let's go inside, take some measurements. First of all, I wanna just open this up so I have a little more light. All right, there we go. Looking at it from this angle, this is the wall that's existing to here, so we do have a little sort of a gap here. Not sure if I'd want to have the same gap here or not. How will it look if it's not symmetrical? I also have to consider the fact that I have to look out the back as I'm driving, so when that's open. So I don't think I want to block it off way too much, but let's see, let's get some measurements. So I would like to have the distance of this be very similar. Leave the same amount of 2.5 inches. So, okay, so I think I'm gonna go to about 4 inches. That feels about right. All right, so we have 19 inches this way. A right angle, so that's 37 by 19 inches. That'll get us somewhat of a right angle. And 19, and then 37 this way. All right, first of all, before we start measuring this way, let's clean this edge up. $37. All right, very well. So that's our template. Just want to make sure it'll right, because I want to use a compass to figure the sides, and just want to make sure that it'll right. And as you can see, what I'm running into a problem is obviously getting it all the way over there. Instead of cutting it a million times, what I think I'm going to do is just cut it as straight as I can over here, like so. Fold it over as much as possible, about so. Let's do that, and then we'll see where that puts us. Now, if I take off too much off the top, I could always add a piece on the bottom. So I'm not too worried about it. All I'm worried about is getting the contour correct. Obviously, you see that we took off way too much on the top, but now we're just gonna get this closer to this little transition here. Adjust my pencil a little bit because that way there's enough. But let's just see where we are so far. Got a little bit of repair there, and obviously that section up there. Other than that, I'm pretty comfortable and happy with that. So let's see how this looks from here. So this is what I was talking about when I said that it's not going to be in center, which I guess I'm okay with because I really don't have a choice. That cabinet's already built, that's already built, so you know, but it is okay again because this comes out a little bit and this is flush with the cabinet, so that's all we have to work with. And plus now this space right there gives me the ability to create shelves and hang some of the kitchen stuff that, you know, I had to put somewhere else. So that's a win-win in my book. It's getting toasty in here. I'm gonna have to start thinking about some AC soon. That's a project. I think what we're gonna do now is try to fix some of the gaps up there, and then make sure we're perfectly happy with this, and then we're going to cut the plywood. We can work with this. So what I'm looking to do is I'm looking to make up this difference right here, 1 inch and 3/8. Other than that, everything else will transfer fine. Right there. So that gets us about 1 inch and 3/8. Happy with that. Now make sure that everything else is pretty flush. And it is. Let's go trace. I got so lucky with this plywood, this 3/4 inch plywood. I was, I forget where, Home Depot or Lowe's, one of the big box stores, and there was 15 sheets of this stuff. It was in a cart, and it was like, it said on sale, ask for associate, and it was like all for $1. Some of it had water damage, like very little bit. I probably used 90% of it. It's birch plywood, very high quality, and it actually ended up being something crazy. Like I think I paid like 15 cents for it or something. It was like a penny a board, 3/4 inch plywood. I mean, it's amazing when you find deals like that. That's just mind blowing to me. All right, I'm happy with that. I'm gonna trace right there. Template. I'll save that, probably throw it in the attic. I feel like I said, I feel bad throwing it out because stuff is really good. Let's go. Okay, so basically I just use the hand plane to just straighten out this as much as possible. Let's go put this in the van and see if we gotta adjust anything or trim anything. All right, let's see. I think I'll have to just be happy with that. I'm gonna just say I'm happy with that because it just can't be perfect. I will plug in the holes with some a little bit of fabric, you know, if there is any ever slight holes. What I want to address here is there's a gap, obvious gap because of this, and there's nothing on the bottom. So I'm going to install a spacer right here before I screw this, because I don't want this wood to be all the way resting on here. If water was to leak over here, if for any reason, you know, a couple of splashes, I don't want that to create mold, because when you have two pieces of wood just pressed together and they get wet, you're going to have mold there. So what I'm looking for is I'm looking for probably 1/4 of an inch space that I'm going to have to just put some sort of a spacer on here, then attach it. So to do that, I'm going to mark right there. I'm going to mark right here and right here. That's going to let me know that this is the counter or so. So I'm just going to go with a spacer from about here, right there. 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, sort of like that, if you get the idea. There we go. Beautiful. Let's go do this. So what I got 3 slightly less than 1/4 inch pieces. We're gonna put them on here like that. If we had some fast setting super glue, that would be good. We don't. So we're gonna reserve to using some foil tape. There we go. Should help us. This tape seems to be very, very good as far as adhesion to this type of wood. I just don't want water to find its way inside. And number 3 here. All right, y'all, what I'm gonna do next is apply some edge banding here. Got a hot iron going over here. And basically we're looking for just this edge here. I'll cut that off. We got the edge banding on, and what I'm going to do is just use this little hand plane again. I know it's not for that, but ever so slightly just take off the... And what I like to do, and what I've done on the van thus far, is anywhere where I had that, is just added edge banding from both sides. So it just kind of adds a little trim piece. So I'm going to add one here and one here, and then sand it smooth, so that way when you look at it, you'll have just a little bit of a sort of a detail here, here, and then there. And what I do is I just cut it a little bit longer so I don't fight the whole roll, and just kind of get it as close as possible to there. Sometimes if you heat it too much, it'll shift on you, so just warm it up. And this probably isn't the right way, but I did it on the other side, and it gave me a nice look that I liked. So we're gonna stick with what works. I added some washers here and just put extra layer of tape just to add a little more of a spacer. All right. You know, you're gonna have the grain of the wood, and now you have this clean sort of tape. It just adds a little bit of a detail. Quick sand with some 320 here, and you can see it looks amazing. I'll just take off some of the edges. While it's still hot, the dust sort of fills the glue, and that kind of fills in any little imperfections. So, but you see what I mean, it just breaks it up a little bit. It's not, you know, and it's very, very thin. Obviously, it's just edge banding. We sanded it down a little bit with 320. We're gonna hit it with some Danish oil right there. I like that stuff a lot. Very lightly. I like the color. If we have to sand it again and do it, then we will. We'll see once it's dry. We're just going for some coverage, guys. It's not gonna be 100% perfect. This is real stuff, DIY. We're gonna let that dry right there, and after it's dry, we're gonna go throw it into the van. All right, I'm gonna take a piece of this sort of like Armaflex that I have laying around, and I'm going to roughly cut it to the width of our plywood, and that's just gonna allow it to really sandwich in there and kind of fill in any gaps. I try to add something like this anytime I'm screwing something against metal, or, you know, because to prevent rattling and just any sort of vibration. That seems to help kind of absorb some of that. Just gonna create a ever so slightly snugger fit, and that's fine with us. Cut off the excess like so. Let's go put it in. The idea is that there will be a overhead bin right there that's going to be anchored to metal, and then this will be attached to that shelf there. So right now all I really can do is attach probably 5-6 screws from here. So if you guys want to see more about this water system that I have, check out the video on my channel, my full van tour. I will try to link it somewhere here. So let's go ahead and just get this super handy long bit. So we're just gonna assemble this. As you see, I got 4 screws, actually 5 screws, 3 there and two up here through these pocket holes. I think for now that's more than adequate. It's not going anywhere. Oh wow, I love the way that it feels. It almost feels like a little bedroom. I mean, that's the idea, but I didn't think it would feel like that. Well, let's see. So we get everything buttoned up. I love this blanket. Amazing, love it. Now there's going to be a cabinet here for small things. I put the oh, there it goes, clicked in. I put the carbon monoxide detector. Figured, you know, head height. So I know heat rises, but I don't want it to fill up there and then for it to sense. So I want to kind of level where my head is. I put it there, but I also use the bracket screws to kind of attach more into the thing. So that's not going anywhere. I got this side, a little pretty bird. All right, got one more thing we're gonna do here. I got one of these stoneware or stone smelly cups, whatever they're called. You put the little smelly herbs or fragrance, not smelly, fragrance. Got some sticky Velcro. Let's see where we're gonna put it. Maybe right there. There, we got some nice dry flowers. Smells like chamomile. Oh. Look at that. Well, guys, I couldn't be happier. How do you say? Turned out really good. I think it serves its purpose right there. And then we're gonna build something across that's gonna hold the curtain, and that's gonna fall down, and then it will really be separate. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I really appreciate it. Like, subscribe, thank you, and I will see you in the next one. All the best. Bye.